Good evening, everyone.
Hello, welcome. Hello, welcome.
Welcome to Neil's fan page.
Who's Neil's fan page?
I'm Is there somebody called Neil's fan page in the chat?
Neil's fan. Yeah, he says showing Neil some love. Mark gets all love. I'm totally fine being not having my face on a thing anywhere. I'm totally fine with that. Thanks very much. Totally fine. I'm happy with you getting the
recognition.
The people using, yeah, it's totally fine. Totally fine with me.
Are you recording the audio at your end? Just a quick technical question.
Yeah, I'm recording the audio the same as I do every other week. Yep.
So I don't know whether it's my Finiston beanie. Discount code Mark15 at checkout for 15% off all your Finiston clothing needs. Or the audio suddenly for your end sounds a wee bit shite. Don't know.
On my end, does it sound bad?
What do you think, Cameron? You've got your headphones on.
It just sounds like the compression rate from our side is turned it down a wee bit, almost like it's that. If you're recording it, it's fine.
Guys, in the live chat,
there's nothing changed. See how it sounds, but there's nothing changed since last week.
Aye, I'm just having a wee look. Let's turn off. Go again, Neil.
So always the best time to do this as you go live.
It was fine. We were chatting away, weren't we, for 20 minutes before we went live, and it was all sounding good.
Oh, it was fine. What's your problem, then?
I know.
You know what? Before we came on, I was listening to a thing, and it was a musician, and you know how they go, yeah, I just left. I put everything into it. I don't think I'm going to take some time, and I'm not going to be putting another album out for a few years. You imagine if a joiner done that? You know what I mean? I'll lay your floor. I'll see how much it takes out of me, and I might get to your doors, but it might be a year or that. It's just it's a lot of rubbish. It's nonsense. It doesn't mean anything.
I feel at the moment creatively skirting boards are beyond me.
It's easy to do that though, isn't it? When you're a multi-millionaire after making like two albums.
But that's what I'm saying. It's totally all about that because see when they were coming up to that, they were fucking out gigging every night, any place they could gig. I'm going there. But then as soon as they get a bit of dough, it's like I've creatively, it's just no there. I don't know where it's gone. It's like,
really for me.
Shut up. You know.
Oh.
We allow it. We buy into it. We allow it. We say, "Oh, that's good." They're just taking a break creatively, just to recharge. I'm looking forward to what they come back with. Shut up.
Yeah, it depends on how hard they work though as well. Because trying to actually break into the music industry is pretty brutal. I mean, yeah, I'm assuming they'll just take a couple of days off sucking cock to get onto the big stage. You know what I mean? There's only so much they can handle.
How do you break into the music industry now?
I was waiting for Cam picked up the microphone. I thought he was going to say something.
Exactly what I just said.
Sucking cock.
Is that it? That's the only way?
Sucking Satan's cock.
Well, I bet it's the only way, man. But it's like, it seems as if people, it's so easy now. You know these ads on YouTube that you see, and they pop up. There we go, hats off. Fucking complained at them, moaned at them for fucking weeks, and then they give them a hat, you know, and then that's
an outdoor hat, right? My head's fucking you, and you suddenly sound better. So,
aye. There you go. It's probably your fucking ears on the
my ears, but can he hear through wool?
Aye. No, but that you see the adverts on YouTube, and it's but YouTube gave us a platform, and now we're playing in stadiums and stuff like these. The wee YouTube adverts come up. I don't know how any. If Fleetwood Mac was on earlier, and you know how the lyrics pop up if you put it up on the telly, you have the lyrics, and I was like, there's no really any bands like that. Now there's none. There's no point in a band like that. Why would see if a Fleetwood Mac come out there now? Nobody would listen to. They'd be like, "Who the fuck are these weirdos?"
But do you think it's got something to do with the fact that people don't listen to albums? People listen to playlists.
I mean, an album's.
How would Pink Floyd fare in the playlist world? Pink Floyd made albums, didn't they?
You're only
You can't
getting...
listen to Dark Side of the Moon, a track here and there. You've got to listen to the album, in my opinion.
The way I disagree though. The only way I listen to music is the full album. It's the only way that I listen to
That's the way you listen to it.
That is honestly.
What do you mean you disagree? I just fucking said.
He just
How would somebody like Pink Floyd or Fleetwood Mac fare in today's world when it's the playlist way of listening? You have to listen to their albums. I'm not saying I don't listen to albums. I'd rather listen to an album when it's somebody like Pink Floyd. In the car, for example, I'm happy with a playlist because it's background noise to stop me falling asleep and crashing. But I don't agree with the playlist thing. The playlist is the iPod generation who started with the iPod Shuffle. Remember the wee fucking plastic stick? And you just press play and it shuffled all your songs. That sowed the seeds of the playlist generation, and it took away the fucking Jimi Hendrix Electric Ladyland. You have to listen to the album, otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Well, but I don't think any artists make music just for an album now. I don't think they do it. I think the Kings of Leon do. They do their albums and they'll do it, and then a lot of other... I mean, I'm sure there is other bands. Here's me again, fucking talking to them about the music industry, man, as if I'm an insider. Just get a fucking
table on your merch.
Put your merch.
Put your CDs on it.
Aye, so
you don't actually make CDs anymore.
One day, I've done it a few days. I listened to Kings of Leon, their first album, start to finish, and then do right through their full discography. And see, after the full discography plays, the next song that they play is Jamie T, Sheila, that song. Every single fucking... And I'm like, it doesn't even sound like a Kings of Leon song, so I don't know how they do it, or if it's just the way, if it's my stuff, I don't know. But no, so I don't think any bands do that, you know what I mean? I don't... I listened to 2 albums this week, start to finish. A Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders, which is fucking brilliant. And Roots, Do You Want Some More, is it? Or do whatever one it is. And that was good start to finish, but I don't know.
So we getting into a kind of ghetto frame of mind?
Well, Sunday, if Sunday is a nice day, if you're working and you can put on a Tribe Called Quest, that's a nice... Right. I don't want to say vibe, sound like a fucking dick, but it's kind of a nice chill vibe. It's kind of a nice vibe for a Sunday if you're working away on something nice. But that was the only one. But nah, I like a playlist, man. I like a playlist.
I like a playlist as well. But as I say, there are some artists.
You're older as well, you know.
I'm older as well, and I've still get LPs. But there's some artists you a playlist. I mean, I've done it. I've listened to it. I'll refer to Pink Floyd again. I've listened to Pink Floyd playlists, and you can go from, I don't know, man, an obscure instrumental track for one of their earlier albums, right into Time from Dark Side of the Moon, and it starts off while the clock's going off. Well, there's no fucking... It's no congruent to what you're just listening to.
Aye, so you're not getting their
bands
that
you can't listen to in playlists. You've got to listen to them. Their albums is complete work. And then there's other music that fucking... Like Bombay Bicycle Club. I really like Bombay Bicycle Club, and I'll just get Apple Music to just shuffle all their albums. And all of their albums there's a wee bit of deviation in kind of genre, but you're quite happy listening to track 4 from their first album and track 8 from their recent album back to back. That's not a problem. But that's a modern day band who probably write their music for the playlist generation.
But it's probably to do as well with the best way to make money. Nowadays it's probably getting a hit. It probably has always been getting a hit single. So it's easier to write.
Get a Vodafone advert and that's you. I think that's all music made for.
Or LV,
you know what I mean?
LV car insurance advert with a green
like
car.
A woman rollerblading. Yeah, I'm on my period. You know, this fucking... But even that, what was it? It's my life. It's my... That was a fucking Tampax advert back in the 90s or early 2000s, wasn't it? But it
you know a lot about Tampax adverts. That's fine because men have periods too.
Yeah, I mean they do. So fuck's sake, man.
I don't need to put a trigger warning in there because I'm just stating fact.
Yeah, fact. That podcast when you're talking about bands and all that podcast called Song Exploder is a fucking great podcast.
Is that the one you sent me through the other week?
You sent me through, and then they go in and then they speak to the artist. KT's
really
Tunstall.
Good. I love that.
It's brilliant when I listened to KT Tunstall, man, and that was brilliant, man.
Yeah.
I never really liked her before that. I never really just liked her music. I mean, I'm sure she was nice enough in that. But no, I'm
she
a
did
fan
an intro
now.
for my old
I'm a
music
fan.
podcast.
Did she? Aye.
Aye.
That's fucking brilliant.
That's how I used to
I'm
roll.
a fan. I'm a fan now. I like your stuff.
I like that podcast. I like podcasts like that 30 minutes.
That's it.
To the point. This is how we wrote the song. This is the story behind it. I mean, that one, Closing Time, dead interesting about his daughter being born premature and all that, and the record label wanted to release a single. So that was dead interesting. Really interesting. It's funny,
good,
I sent you a message after it with the link to the one where it was Sparks, This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us, which is the only Sparks song I like. So I sent you a message with a link to that, and I says, this is a fucking brilliant song.
Aye.
And then I got a reply from my dad, because I sent it to my dad, and my dad just replied, pardon?
It's I don't know. I know it's an alright song.
I like it. It's the only Sparks song I like. I just think it's a quirky, weird song.
But it was good, man. It's a great podcast. I like listening to it, man. It's just interesting to hear them. But so I don't know. Disney's on you go.
In your workshop, what's the is that an iPad you've got on a wee stand?
Yeah, I've got an iPad and a stand. I've got an iPad and the stand in there, and then so that goes so. Money. Well, I mean, I have that in there, and then I've got the telly with an Apple TV. So what I do is if I'm watching YouTube or that, I just because the Apple TV I've got is the first one. You know the well, they're both black boxes, but so you can't. It's not got YouTube on it now.
Aye.
You know, so I need to AirPlay YouTube or whatever whatever you call it.
I mean, I don't think we'll be doing any ads for Patreon tonight if you're fucking rolling about your workshop with iPods and Apple
iPad.
TV.
It's an old iPad. All I've got on is
try telling Howland that he's not even got an iPad.
It's the YouTube. YouTube's on it. Audible. Luminary, the podcast app, Spotify, all that, and then I can just fire it on because it's linked to
brilliant, man.
Oh, it's linked to the amp as well. See the Marshall amp I've got, it's linked to that.
No wonder you don't come down here anymore. I wouldn't want to leave that workshop either. Right, so what happened this week? Because I spoke to you on the phone yesterday and I was like, you coming down? Aye, it'll be down. What happened?
Aye, it was fine. No, I just have stuff that's getting couriered, and he could only do it. He could only do it either the day at 5ish, which ended up a wee bit later, or next week. So
it takes a wee bit of time to get the wee condoms with the cocaine rammed up his arse. You've got to allow enough time for the courier to get that up his arse, ain't you?
Well, it's more getting out.
True, getting out the other end. Aye.
How did he get it out the other end? Just shite it out.
Aye.
Fuck, I don't fancy that.
One of my favourite films is Starred Up, and there's a great scene in it in the prison where they've got to make some of the gangster guys in prison have got to make a call, and basically one of them just looks at this, turns to this fat guy standing in his cell and just clicks his fingers, and the fat guy just walks over to the toilet, gets all this toilet roll spilled up in his hands, drops his joggies, and just sits and he's just like,
oh no, man, just forced
a phone, a small mobile phone wrapped in cling film up his arse.
Jesus, man.
They must. So but you're no. They must just pop it up there and then just shite it out. So it's not as if you actually. I'm thinking in my head. I'm thinking they'd need to wait till they needed a shite to do it, but you wouldn't. You'd force it out because it's probably It's probably just there, right in the tube, ready to come
in
out.
The tube, right at the bottom of the rectum, isn't it? Your sphincter.
That's an interesting career choice.
Aye,
it's doing that. I mean, some people have no other option though to shove.
Well, I mean, in prison, it's probably a choice of you either shove this phone up your arse or that big cunt there will shove his cock up your arse repeatedly. And I would go, give me the phone, give me. It could be this, could be a phone that size. Just give me it. I'll do that once. But that imagine trying to shove that up your arse, but fucking hell.
Aye, you know, but then you're as well saying to the guy, well, if I've got the choice, can I see the size of his cock first?
True. Aye, and if it's just
you're in jail. Fuck it.
True.
Fuck it. You're in jail. I knew a guy for the Navy, and anytime you laughed about gay sex or anything like that, he says, "Hey, don't knock it till you've tried it." And the story was
in the Navy.
That's what I'm saying. He was in the Navy. The story was that he was right into it down in the submarines and that. And
aye, I knew a guy that was when I was a window cleaner. One of my customers was a submarine commander, nuclear submarine commander. Aye, because he would disappear. Like you wouldn't see him for ages. And then he'd be about for a while because obviously he'd be on the boat for 3-4 months. Just a dead interesting guy. He left school and went straight into the Navy from school, And he just basically ground it out, worked his way up, and then he retired in his early 40s with a decent pension and compensation because he'd lost the pinky toe in one foot, something that happened at sea. So he'd get compensation for that. Aye. So I know it was interesting talking to him. And
they make a lot of money though, don't they? They make loads of dough.
He was in a big fucking 5-bedroom detached house, and he was a young guy at the
Young
time. He
guy.
was young, you know. It was interesting talking to him about round about the same time as that Russian submarine got stuck.
Aye.
And remember, the Russian government wouldn't let other ships go and rescue the sailors on the sub, and they basically just left them drown. And he was talking, he says that's your worst nightmare when you're down there, obviously, as you get trapped.
Aye.
And he says the Navy always assures you, we'll do everything in our power to get you out of that. He says, but you know they wouldn't, because it's a nuclear sub. So they wouldn't be able to get help from other nations, because it would allow them access to the British nuclear deterrent, if you like.
Aye.
It's crazy, man. So but you're putting your life in the line anyway when you're in the military.
That's fucking crazy, man. That is for. So they would just leave them. They would. I don't know the story. I remember it.
I know that it was. What was interesting was there was a press conference with like the politician in charge of military. It would be like the equivalent of the Home Secretary here, and they were doing a press conference talking about it. Well, the sailors were still alive on the sub, and one of the mothers of one of the sailors lost her shit at the press conference, and all of a sudden a security guy and a woman rushed over to her, and the woman injected the mother in the neck, and the mother just done the whole thing, and the security guy just took her out the press conference.
Injected her with what?
I don't know, with something to knock her out, to get her to shut the fuck up.
So he's just walking about with a fucking a syringe filled with knockout
and now,
juice.
And now that's just called your booster shot.
Aye. Well, that's it. It's like I was thinking about
trigger warning. Sorry, Neil.
Trigger warning. It was like I try to say to the boys, you know, like there is a good it's a good career choice right now if you're thinking about it, to get into like vaccine or big pharma. That, you know, it's like the modern day council job. You know, it's a job for life. You know, once you're in that shoe, you never we'll never get rid of you.
If you had a time machine, you'd go back to yourself in 2019 and go buy some Pfizer stock today. I've not got any money. Mortgage the fucking house. Buy Pfizer stock today.
I was talking to Andy Watson about that as well, and I was thinking we were all like talking, saying, "Oh, everybody's using Zoom now, isn't it?" We never thought of saying we should buy some right at the very start. We're like, you know what I mean? You should have known.
Started a podcast right at the start as well.
What one?
We should have started a podcast right at the start. If we had started this, would have been nearly 2 years in. You know what I mean? We'd be fucking millionaires by now. Patreon.com/SMRE.
But I don't know if was the technology as good. We could have still done. I says
the podcast back in 2020.
But I was saying, I think I'd say we should do an end of the world thing, because I think I had mine going. I was like, we could do an end of the world one, but then people weren't really that busy. But I don't know, we just never, I suppose. But it would have been a good idea, because you could have documented the full thing right through it, you know.
Definitely. Cam and I listened to. You heard a trigonometry?
What, the maths
podcast
thing?
No, the podcast trigonometry. No.
I thought you were triggering. I'm like, well, I'm no excellent at it, but I kind of know a bit for joinery. But right, okay, I know
not trigonometry. Trigonometry. I deliberately said it.
Right, okay.
Try to enunciate it. Trigonometry. It's a podcast, and it's two guys, two stand-up comedians, and they just interview interesting people. But they've done a kind of a show. Their most recent podcast was them telling the story. I think they started in 2018, so it was them telling the story of the podcast, and they said it was really 2020 when the lockdown happened that they just exploded. Neil's for the listeners. Neil's. Do you know using the? Did you not get the wee?
I got it, and I went to plug it in the night, and the HDMI cable that I've got is fucking huge. It doesn't fit in the camera.
Oh, because you need a mini HDMI to regular
mini HDMI, so I need to get that, and then that's us. We're fucking. Well, I mean, I'll be down next week anyway, so we're fine. But right, continue. What were you saying before that cut out? It really put me off.
No, just their podcast exploded. It was a really interesting story, because they'd both been kind of blackballed from comedy because they don't. I mean, they're not like far right guys. One of them is like a left guy. He's a left wing guy. He always has been. But because he disagrees with some things to do with like gender politics and all that, he get pretty much blackballed for comedy. The other guy is the comedian that broke the story about him being asked to do a gig, but he was told, we don't support jokes that are sexist, racist, homophobic, transphobic, ageist, disablest, all that kind of stuff. And he was like, well, I'm not doing the gig. So he tweeted about it and it went viral. So that's the other comedian. Right. But it's just a dead interesting story that they were both, that one of the comedians was working part-time as a teacher. He was working 6 nights a week in comedy clubs and then tried to do the podcast as well. And just dead interesting how it all came about. They'd studio space, they lost the studio space, and I think they went through 3 studios. They eventually moved into a flat and just transformed the living room into the studio. And one of the guys presenting it and the producer both lived in the flat. So it was dead cool. Interesting, man. Dead interesting. The struggles to become successful podcasters, but they're both full-time. They don't do comedy, they don't do stand-up anymore. They're both full-time podcasters.
That's all they do, full-time?
Patreon.com/SMRE.
But see, when you look at the, you know how, like, I don't know if we spoke about this, you know, like the comedy hour, like the hour special. We probably have spoken about this, but I don't even know if that'll be a thing. Like, and will that even continue? You know, I'm not an expert in like the world of that, but it's like it seems as if people really can't be fucked watching them. You know what I mean? I mean, look at all the hassle just to fucking sell Dave Chappelle's one. You know what I mean? All this fucking outrage and all that. Did you see the guy? You know, I was listening to. Did you see how Tim Dillon and then that guy for the SNL?
You showed me that. You sent me that clip. I watched that.
And Michael Shea's what clip was there? Was there a clip?
Are you not talking about the SNL clip about Joe Rogan?
No. There was the Michael Shea thing, and he's a comedian. He's the writer on SNL, and Tim Dillon was saying he was fucking shite or something, and then they had a bit of back and forward.
He said that Tim Dillon is just a media personality.
It was like that, but it's like the guy is he's the head writer in SNL, right? He's not a fucking idiot. It's the whole same. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, that's weird. Why would Tim Dillon be arguing with one of the guys? Like, but then Michael Shea's got a comedy special coming out on net or HBO or Netflix, and I was like, oh, that's why. It's just all fake, sort of made up shit. Like, it's just silly, and I'm like,
Twitter beefs.
You know what I mean? Like, Tim Dillon makes like 100 and however many grand a month,
130,
and then the guy's the head writer at SNL, and they're going to be arguing with each other about, oh, your show's rubbish. No matter, it's like, it's not. I don't. But people buy it. People are like, they're having a beef, and it's like, shut the fuck up and get a grip of yourself, man. It's all entertainment. It's just to sell more fucking. I don't know, man.
Who can we start a beef with? We didn't really try to start a beef with Kaz Milligan, right? We slagged them off, and that didn't. You know, we weren't trying to get anything off the back of that. We were genuinely
just curious about what the fuck is going on. Is this guy for real? But I think he's a parody. I think he'll come out as some sort of
parody.
Comedian.
Right. Aye. So who can we start a beef with? Listeners, give us your thoughts. smre.co.uk/
Paul Hollywood.
Paul Hollywood, not / Paul Hollywood, but get in touch. Let us know who you think we could start a beef with. Neil thinks Paul Hollywood. Guys in the live chat tonight, who could Neil and I and producer Cam start a beef with to help get the show some traction? Right, should we go to some comments, Cam? What have we got?
Yep. I'll scroll back up. So Neil's fan page is new to the live. Been listening to Spotify last couple of weeks, catching up.
Fucking yes, look at that profile picture.
Oh, thanks very much.
Welcome, Neil's fan page. Welcome.
Hello.
And Rob Simpson follows up with that, saying you have to ring in on your first live. It's the rules to Neil's fan page.
That's a very true story. So let's just pause and we'll announce the phone number. It is 07719 690049. The number is on the screen. You can call in, and if it's your first time watching the live, you have to phone in. You have to. We'll be gentle. All we'll ask you to do is, once the call's over, ram your phone up your fucking arse. Next comment, Cam.
Rob Simpson says Neil's setup in his workshop is better than his living room. Is in better than Rob's living room.
There you go, Rob. We keep trying to tell you. You've just.
Well, when you're working all the time, you might as well see. That's a funny thing, because see the amount of money I've spent on kitting it out so it's comfortable. You know, it's like you don't make any money back for that, but you're going to be in. You need to be comfortable. You need to have all your. You need to have all your stuff around you, man.
You're in your workshop 3 or 4 hours every day, Neil. 3 or 4 hours
At
every day. You spend
at
at
very
least
least,
3 or 4 hours a day.
Three days out of the 7 out of a week, aye.
You're in there, so you're in your workshop maybe 9 hours a week. That's a lot of time to be working.
See the thing is, I actually work an awful lot, but the attitude that I give off that I think people think I don't like to work, but I enjoy working, right? And I really and I know the benefits of working. But the thing that gets me is when I talk to people and they don't like what their working is or whatever, and I'm like, well, you need to stop fucking doing that, mate. You need to find something you like. You need to go and do that, because time waits for no man. You need to go and do that. But then that's what I get annoyed about. And people say, "Oh, look at this job. You make fucking loads of this." I'm like, "No, I can't be fucked. It's no my thing. I'm not going to do it." "Oh, yes, you're lazy." It's like, no, mate. It's just I can't be. I like to do what I enjoy to do. You know what I mean? Which I think. But I seen a thing on the list that we have.
Yes, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. Did you look at it? Did you look at the link?
Well, see, I heard it on Tim Dillon. And
so we were listening to Tim Dillon driving home yesterday, and I said,
I've been on it a few weeks, man. I've been on that page for a few weeks.
Where you're getting all your ideas from.
That anti-work page, I've been on it for a few weeks. And I'm looking at
brilliant,
it.
It's brilliant.
The thing which I like to see the shit that the bosses give some people.
Oh,
there is no fucking way I would be there. I'd be like, fuck you.
I'm trying to get this through to my daughter now. She's 17. And she works in McDonald's, and she works Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday every week. She works 4 shifts a week, and it's the evenings. So she says, I've got no life, because she's in 6th year at school. So she's working her arse off at school, and then working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in McDonald's. And what did we say tonight to her, Cam? Get something else. Don't fucking do it. Go and get something else.
Yeah.
But they're grooming her to be manager material, because she came in the other day and she's like, oh yeah, one of the bosses has been really nice to me, and she says that I'm doing really well, and she says that she's hearing really good things about me, and would I like to get training to work on the food prep. I says, Grace, they're grooming you to be a manager at some point, because that's how they do it.
What is she into that? Would she like to be a manager of that? Is that
it's in our 6-year yearbook? What will you be in 10 years? Manager in McDonald's. Now I think she's joking. I hope, but it's
good money, is it? No?
She gets good money, but what, you need a life. You need a life.
Oh no, totally.
She doesn't get to see her pals are doing at the weekend.
No, I'd never advise anybody to go and work for McDonald's. I'm like, you can't enjoy that. You know what I mean? But some people might want to do it for the money and say, if I get to a management stage, I'm going to make myself so much money, and they're good at putting it by, and then they can move on. You know what I mean? It's
I knew a guy when I worked at McDonald's that dropped out of uni and started working full time in McDonald's to make enough money to buy his own franchise of McDonald's.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
What?
You know, and then for
there,
I mean, how much is that? How much? But how much is a franchise? They're no crazy expensive,
well,
really.
See the guy that basically the McDonald's I worked at. It was franchised by this, I can't mind his name, but he owned one, and he owned the one in Kirkintilloch, one in Cumbernauld, I believe, one in Easterhouse, and then somewhere else. So he maybe had like 4 or 5, and he started working at McDonald's. So he kind of started there, and then bought a franchise, then obviously capitalized on that, and then went up. And now he's like a multi-millionaire, and they go on all these mad abroad trips with all the main with all the people that manage each franchise.
Crazy. Have you seen the movie The Founder, Michael Keaton?
Aye. Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant, man. Yeah. He was just a fucking bad bastard, but it's that kind of drive, you know. He just went, and I just don't, you know, there was something on Instagram yesterday, and I'd seen it, and it was this. It was a YouTube video that popped up, and it was the first one on the recommended how to make $40,000 a month with a woodworking business. And I'm like, let's watch this fucking total bullshit video and see. And I sent it to other guys. I'm like, the guy's a fucking bellend. The guy's a dick. See if you, but I don't think there's a tie to being a dick to making that sort of money, because there'll be nice people who make that sort of money. But it's just that thing. I don't know. That fucking drive, man. That drive. See that drive? to make a lot of money. It's that. But I don't know.
It comes from psychosis, doesn't it?
But can you have that drive if you're one to like actually really enjoy your work and make nice things? Can you have that fucking drive?
I think there has to be a period where you do shit work, but it makes money. As I've said to you before, Neil, you need to start making wooden keyboard wrist rests. You need to start making wee shelves for computer tables for people to put their monitor on, right? And you pump them out on Etsy, and you charge 40 quid for a bit of wood for you to rest your wrists on, and you charge 100 quid for a monitor mount, and you dedicate a year of your life to making them, and then you'll have hundreds of money behind you, and then you can go and make your mid-century furniture.
But I would rather kill myself than do that for a year. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's like
you come up with. Do you need the drive? You do need the drive. You do.
But to make
to do shit.
But say you're just making nice things and you want to make some nice things, and you don't have that drive for a business or anything like that. It's a weird thing. Could you still get by? You know what I done the other day?
Of course.
You get by. The other day, what I done? Well, periodically, what I'll do is a wee business tip. If anybody's wanting it, I've got a message that I'll just send to interior designers that I find on Instagram. If I sometimes search a hashtag, interiors Glasgow or whatever, and I'll just send them a message if I like their work, and I'll be like, your work looks nice. And when I'm looking at their work, I'm like, the stuff I make would fit in that beautifully. And I just say to them, like, I've got a discount for interior designers, and if you think I would be of any use, just give me a shout, blah, blah, blah. So I done that the other day because I'd not done it for a while, and every one of them got back to me, which was fucking like, I thought it was pretty good, man. And I got like two jobs off two different people. So
do you know,
it's kind of
nice. Do you know where you should give the credit for that? For you having the kind of the mental space to decide that's what you're going to do. Who should get the credit for that is this fucking podcast. Because if you were to take, and I know I can do it, if you were to take stock of where your head and your drive and your determination, your business has gone since June until now, hundreds of it has come for this podcast. I'm just putting it out there. And listeners, you too can experience a revolution in your life. Your world will change. Simply head over to patreon.com/SMRE, and for the low price of just £4 a month, not only will you be able to put on your CV that you're a producer of Social Media Ruins Everything, but by osmosis, the positive mental attitude will change your life through association with Neil, myself, producer Cam, and the rest of the producers over on Patreon. So that's patreon.com/SMRE.
But it works. It's interesting. But that's the drive. That's it. That was. I was putting in a bit of effort.
One of us on this thing's got to have the fucking drive to get the subscribers over there. One of us has got to, and I don't see you two cunts fucking stepping up. Oh, we're liberal. We're liberal, communist, socialist. We don't believe in that. We don't believe in work. We don't believe in money.
But it's just that's what I'm saying about the drive. That was as much drive as I'm willing to put in.
But but it worked. That's fucking brilliant, man.
But the thing is, it did work. It was like
their egos are lying on their back like a fucking kitten getting its tummy tickled. That's how their egos were when they got that message from you. Brilliant, well played.
Well, I mean, it's just the drive, and then I'm thinking, fuck, how are people making a lot? Like, I look at other people make money, and I think I don't even bother about the money thing. It's not a big deal. It's like, see, as long as I can get by, I'm fine. As long as I can make nice things, and then that's it. And then I'll probably get to you get to a stage when you'll be like, okay, I'm happy with the stuff I made there. And I think I'll leave it at that, and I'll move on and do another, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. But just a journey, follow my journey. Cam, have you got a fucking journey for your COVID thing? You got a hashtag going? You got a sponsorship thing on Instagram yet? Cam, follow my COVID recovery.
I've got a GoFundMe page to get my taste and smell back. Brutal, by the way. It is brutal. I was watching last week's. I think you said that folk that says it isn't. That says that losing your whole taste and smell and that isn't a real thing. It's fucking real, and it's shite. It's so bland.
Okay. Was it weird?
It's a really weird sensation to like that, just lose your sense and taste, and then to be able to walk into a room and not know what it smells like, and you don't even know if you smell like shite. You're just like, what? It's weird, man.
I find showering helps with that, but
well, I don't believe in money, so why would I believe in showering? You know what I mean?
So I think
how close to death were you?
Oh, I'd rather not get into that. It's actually quite an emotional, touching subject.
But you can sign up at Patreon/Cam's COVID journey.
Yeah.
Nah, look, there was a couple of days where I felt pretty shit, and I had this weird pressure building up behind my eyes and a sore head, but it was nothing that I'd like to lock the whole world down for.
I think if you'd gone to hospital and said, listen, I've tested positive for the COVIDs, right, and I've got pressure behind my eyes, they would have been like that. Get stripped, get on that bed, we're ramming this tube down your throat, you're getting ventilated, boy. We know you've got a 66% chance of dying, we know that, but it's fucking worth it to get rid of that pressure behind. You think that pressure behind your eyes is bad? Wait until you cannot breathe unless a machine's doing it for you. Then you'll know what you're dealing with.
That's what it is. It's that I don't fancy ever getting put in one of the machines. It really does. When they were talking on the news as if it was fine, but it happens all the time, like even before COVID. But when they were talking on the news, I was thinking, oh, that seems all right. Then you just got it, but it's like you're that's running you while your body's fighting. It's fucking crazy.
It basically destroys your lungs.
Aye, but is it like a feat of engineering or something, or technology? Is it was it a really like groundbreaking thing, no?
What, ventilators?
Aye.
I don't know. All I know about ventilators is I looked at the data.
When you read into it, so that machine runs your body while your body runs
your lungs.
Aye, so that your body can deal with the rest
they give you a muscle relaxant that means that none of the muscles in your body work, including the ability to breathe, and the machine breathes for you. So the machine forces oxygen into your lungs and then pulls the oxygen back out of your lungs. That's what the ventilator does. And you typically need to be put into a medically induced coma in order to be able to fucking deal with it. And 66% of people that were put onto ventilators died. What did they die of? Ventilator.
Is that what killed them?
Aye, that's why for the most part they've stopped doing it. And there was doctors from New York coming out at the start and going, this is the wrong treatment. Ventilators are the wrong treatment. It's killing the patients.
I like a ventilator. If it was me, I'd put people in ventilators.
To kill them or just what?
If they die, they die.
You got to get the numbers up somehow.
If he dies, he dies.
He dies.
Hey, any more comments? I feel we're kind of.
Well, there's been a revolution in the chat where everyone is now known as Neil's fan page, Mark's OnlyFans page, Neil's fan page, and then the original Neil's fan page.
Fucking hell. So we don't know who anybody is.
Don't know who anyone
that's
is
fine.
now.
They can fuck off. That's fine. Hey, listen. Which one of you cowardly bastards is going to phone in? 07719 690049. It's on the screen. You can phone in. Now, if you happen to be in another part of the world, Neil, because we are a global, internationally recognised and available podcast, thanks to the joys of the internet and our production skills, you can phone in via WhatsApp. Via WhatsApp, because if you look at this, that's not a wee shitey pay-as-you-go. That's a shitey iPhone 6, but it's got WhatsApp on it. So if you are watching this via the power of the internet just now, and you'd like to get your foreign voice heard on this Scottish hosted podcast, it's +44 7719 690049. You can call in on WhatsApp. We'll pick up the call and we'll have a wee chat with you and find out what's going on in your part of the world. Hey, I've got a question, Neil. This was a question I was thinking about. If aliens are real, and I'd love to get folks' thoughts on this in the chat as well. If aliens are real and they have visited Earth,
would you shag one?
No, not would you shag one. Don't fucking trample all over the question.
I worked with a guy. Wait, sorry.
Over the question
I know, sorry. But when Cam says would you fuck one, I worked with a guy, and it was when that film came out with the blue aliens in it. The guy who done Terminator and stuff. What was the movie? What was
Avatar.
it? Avatar. And he was like, "Oh, I love them blue titties. See them 3 blue titties? I love them titties." And that's all he was. Oh, every lunchtime he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to get my bird to dress up." He was trying to get his wife to like put a tail on and fucking add the titty and paint blue. It's like weird, man. That was in the same job that I was telling you about when the social come up, the brew come up, then all the cunts fucking jumped out the windows and ran up the field. Fucking mental, man. I continue anyway. If aliens are real,
if aliens are real and they have visited Earth, which social network would they have started?
Which social network? Like one that exists now? Tinder, I think. Tinder. So
Tinder's not a social network.
So they could come and social. It is. It's a social. It's social.
It's not a social network. You don't go on and network with people, do you?
Fuck, I don't know, man. I think
have you ever used Tinder?
No, I don't even know what it is, man. I'd like to. I've seen like Lewis has it in that. You know what I mean? And has the ones, and I've seen them. But I've never used it. I know a guy who's married who says to his wife, "I'm get it. It's just to look and see." And I'm like, that's a bit funny. That's a bit funny. I think
it's a wee bit more than window shopping. I remember being in touch with this woman via Match.com. So I had the Match app, and this woman on Match had, I think it was you winked at folk. I think you could wink at folk or something like that. So she'd winked at me, so you get a notification, so-and-so's winked at you, so you go and have a wee look at their profile and you go, So I ended up we ended up messaging back and forward for, I think it was a couple of weeks.
What did you message her back? Did you mean wank me rather than wink me? Like, what was your chat? What would you say? What would you say to them?
I genuinely can't remember my chat.
Man. Fucking brilliant. You send birds messages online and that.
So anyway, so her and I had been messaging for a wee bit, and I'd taken the kids down to Port Patrick for it was like the September weekend or the October week. So I'd taken them down to Port Patrick for a few nights, and when I was down there, like I'd fallen asleep about back at 10 o'clock, but then I'd woken up and for some reason I'd checked my phone and she'd sent me a message and she says something along the lines of, I can see you're still active in using Match. You're obviously not taking this seriously, so I don't want to have any more contact with you. So I replied and basically said, go fuck yourself. Because I was asleep, right? So I wasn't even on Match. But if she knew that I was on Match, that meant that she was on Match, right? So a couple of days later, I was like, I still had Tinder on my phone, so I was swiping through Tinder profiles, and guess whose profile I came?
Tinder and everything. Fucking hell.
Guess whose profile I came across on Tinder?
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Fucking hell.
It's awful. It is awful. That whole world. It's. I remember it was a constant emotional drain. It was awful. But then that's where I met Mary.
That is so crazy, man. That's where that's an online thing.
We met on Match, aye.
Fucking brilliant.
She winked at me as well.
That's brilliant, man.
It's a bald head, guys. It's a bald head.
But it's funny because you have to pick pictures of yourself to put on.
Did
you have your profile picture on? Did you have the black and white thing where is that what you used?
No, I didn't have a beard back then. No, that's that.
You never had a beard?
No, that picture was only taken a couple of years ago. No, I had a picture that Cam had taken by mistake. He did work experience with me, so we're shooting a product video, but I was presenting the video, and he was setting the camera up, and he accidentally took a photograph. So when I went to import the video footage, it was a photograph of me, and it was quite good because it was kind of candid, and I wasn't looking at the camera, and I was quite relaxed. So I think with that into black and white. I had to get a profile shot taken.
Why black and white?
Because black and white was slightly more flattering. It's just slightly more flattering. So I think I had a picture that was taken by a professional photographer at an event where I was a speaker, and it was like, not where the photographers mingle with the crowd after an event, and they go, if you guys just want to line up and you've got to hold your glass like that in front of you and smile. So there's one of that. I just cropped other cunts. I think I had 3 pictures up. Aye. Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible, man.
So mental,
it's fucking.
man.
You're as well just standing in a fucking shop window on Argyle Street wanking and hoping some passerby goes, I fucking like the look of that. It would be less embarrassing and less fucking stressful than going on a dating app.
Oh man! But then you had to go and what was the first dates? You had to go and meet them in the. So you like, hey, you had the talking and all that. Yeah, how's it going? I'm fucking young, free, ready to mingle. Did you? So what was the date? Would you just say I'll meet you here and or did you pick them up or just meet them somewhere?
No, so. I wasn't for messing about, as in.
Oh right,
because what I discovered is
business.
No, aye. My thing was right. I'm how old was I? 43. Right. I was 43. I'm not a teenager. Just want to sit and fucking send messages back and forward. I'd rather meet, see if there's any chemistry. And then also, you're dealing with folk that are sending.
Set up a podcast. You want to start a podcast with me?
So you're dealing with women that most of them have got photographs. It's like that, like head and shoulders.
Yeah.
So you've no idea what they're really like.
Well, see.
So I wanted to meet them sharpish.
See if they've took a picture for you up there.
Aye.
That means you know that they're really fat.
Aye, because it's slightly slimming.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you some of the stories if you want.
I mean, I'm interested in how people at that age meet up and like try and. I mean, because like older people are like my age and onwards, over 35. I think it's like. I mean, people keep themselves in good shape, but it's just. It's kind of funny, you know, because you need to deal with women who've got kids and stuff like that, you know.
Well, I can tell you a funny story about that if you want to hear it. So, that woman I was telling you about that went all you're still a match. She'd stopped messaging me a couple of weeks before that. I was down south working, and I can't remember what happened, but she's like that. I don't think this is going to go anywhere. And I was like, that's fine. But then this other woman for East Kilbride, I can't remember how I get speaking to her, but I get speaking to her via the app thing. And she's like, look, do you want to talk on the phone? So I was staying down this hotel. I was like, aye, fucking fine. So she talked to me on the phone, and her partner was quite funny and all that. But she put her son on the phone. Her son was like late teens. But she was drunk, right? And she's just having a laugh. She's going, here, I'll let you speak to my son. And she's like, you speak to Mark. So he came on, and but it was funny.
Right then.
No, but it was funny. Because the boy comes on and went, hiya, are you going to be my new dad? And it was funny because he was an old.
He was older. He
was late teens, and he's going, "Are you going to be my new dad?" So it was quite funny, and that. So it was quite good banter. So I'd come back up the road, and I'd said, I think we'd arranged to meet like the next day or something like that. So I drove through East Kilbride, and it was her son that drove her to the pub we were meeting, and she got out of the car. And it's like, oh, that's a shame.
She's in a wheelchair.
No, she was about 5'9" and about 17 stone.
A rugby player.
Aye,
fucking it was 5'9". That's taller than me.
She was massive. I remember telling Mary about it once.
That's like me. That's like me. You would fucking go out on a date with me.
Exactly. I remember telling Mary about it. I says, when we walked into the pub, I felt like I was her wee boy or something. Do you know what I mean? Because I felt small. I felt dead small because I was about 2 stone lighter than I am now, and I wasn't as tall as her, so I felt just like a wee boy getting in. So that was a funny one. And then there was another date I went on. This woman worked at M&D's, you know, the theme park.
Aye.
So she seemed dead keen and all that. So we met up. So, but now I knew, this was the second woman I'd met from it. So now I knew, right, well, like, don't be obvious to them at the point of meeting, right? Hang back. Mm-hmm. So I was meeting her at Central Station. So obviously you know what they look like, you know what their face looks like, right? And so I hung back, and obviously Central Station's got all the barriers where the trains are. Uh-huh. So I knew roughly what station she would have been coming from. So I was watching. I think she lived in Carluke, so I was watching for the train that would come in for Carluke, so I could see the gate she was coming through. And again, it was like, for fuck's sake. So she was short, but she was almost as wide as she was tall.
2 inches taller should be round.
Aye. Aye. And the thing is, this is my fucking social awkwardness. So we went and we had a couple of drinks and that and a chat, and it was all right. And you're back, well done. So I walked her back to the station afterward. Cam's listening. Is this making you feel uncomfortable, Cam?
Nah, it is quite funny.
Right.
It is quite funny.
So I walked her back to Central Station, and you know that way it should just have been like, listen, that was great, really nice to meet you and everything, you know.
Aye.
And then you leave it nice, but you the implication is that you're not going to be in touch again, right? Me being fucking a socially awkward, fucking retarded idiot, I'm like that. Yes, so should we do this again? And then in my head, I'm going, no, you don't want to do this again. You don't want to do this or that again. So,
that's
so she's
funny,
like, yeah,
man.
yeah. She's like, she basically like, yeah, next time you could come down to mine for dinner and stuff, right? So I was like, we'll set that up. So the next day she's messaging and she's sending me these really fucking flirty messages, man.
No.
But you know that way, I'm getting a, because it's like, and eventually I was just like, listen, I'm not really ready for this. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm not ready to be.
pump
It's
a
not
chubby.
you. It's not you. It's
Chubby,
me.
it's not you. It's me. The chubby ones need pumped as well.
I'm sure they
Sometimes
do,
I think
man. I'm sure they do.
if you're like that age, 40 odd, and you get on that Tinder and all that, you should just sometimes just go for a rampage and just fucking every night just rattle a different type.
It definitely happens.
No,
I know a guy.
Sure
I know a guy who was on Tinder, and one lassie sent him a message. Basically, like they were messaging, and she's like, "That right? This is my address. The door's open. I'll be upstairs."
Oh my!
And they'd never fucking met before.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying. I know a guy
Mental,
like that,
man.
and then he was saying that they would just turn up and then they would fuck off and they'd do the business and then they would go and that was like jumping an Uber and that. It's fucking brilliant, man. I don't know. It's the future, man, isn't it? It's the future.
So again, it comes back to why listen to a whole album when you can just listen to a playlist and get a surprise every 3 minutes.
Oh, there you go. It's like that's it. It's kind of similar, man. It's but you don't need to put up with any shit, I suppose, either. You know.
No, exactly. So the I'm trying to think. So that was, so that was her, and then the woman that I was telling you about that was going, why are you still on Match? You're obviously not taking this seriously. So she had binned messaging me, right? And then I'd gone out with that. I'd met that other woman I just described, the one that was wee but wide. And then I think it was the next night that other woman started messaging me again. Oh, I'm really sorry about that. So basically what's happened is she's hooked up with a guy and she's like, I'm just fucking all the other guys off that I've been talking to. And then the guy's ghosted her. And then she's back into the pool again and looking at who I've been messaging before. Oh, I was messaging the bald guy, right? I'll start messaging him again. So she started messaging me again. And then I'd taken the kids away and I told her to go fuck herself. And we came back on the Monday. And then the Monday night I got another wink thing and it was for Mary. But now okay. I was like super like, nah, I'm not really into this, which was good because then your expectations are non-existent. And we'd sort of messaged for a couple of days, and then I was like, right, it'd be good to meet up. And she's like, oh, I can't do then, I can't. And I was like, basically ready to go after. That's fine.
Fuck you.
But then she's like, well, actually, no, I could drop my kids off and I could meet you on Thursday night for it, but I'll be driving, so we'll be drinking.
See you later.
But what I did this time was we spoke on the phone. So we spoke the night before we met. We spoke on the phone, and I was like, I got a good read off her. But we met outside there's a big clock outside Buchanan bus station that's made out of metal, and it's like a guy running, and his face is a clock. Excuse me. So we met there. There's a Sainsbury's. But what I did was the wee alley next to the Sainsbury's, so I just ghosted myself up the alley a wee bit in the darkness.
Fucking hell.
Aye, man.
That's
and you know, Batman drifting. I was like that Homer Simpson meme where he's drifting into the hedge. So I just stood back in the darkness and I saw her coming out and kind of looking at her watch and having a wee look about. And basically, I decided if she was a fucking roaster, I was just walking round the corner, back into the car, packing into my car and leaving. I'm like, I'm not wasting any more fucking time on these crazy bitches. But she wasn't a roaster, and we had a really, really nice date. We got on really well.
The rest is history.
We fell for each other immediately. It was immediate, and the rest was
fucking
history.
Brilliant.
And there we are, 6 years later.
Just, what was
5 years later.
What would you do? What would you do in the dates? On all the, would you like go £10 bowling or that or something?
No. The East Kilbride women, we just went to a pub in East Kilbride, and I was driving. She had some alcoholic drinks. I had like fresh orange lemonade. The Wide women, I was the driver, I get the train, so I think we shared a bottle of wine. And then with Mary, it was like fresh orange and lemonade because we were both driving. And then the second date with Mary, the only one I went on a second date was with Mary. We met the following Friday, and we went to Top La Bamba, which is a Mexican restaurant. We had a nice meal, and then went to Studio for some drinks. And then,
so is it like when you have the meal? So the date was just the meal, and then it's like one evening say, "So would you like to go for a drink then? Would you like to go for a drink? Would you want to go for a drink?"
No. No, not at all. I mean, certainly with Mary, we went. You know, the first time we went out, fresh orange lemonade. Spent a couple of hours chatting, and then she would actually get taken to Spain the following day as a surprise for her birthday, and it was like the following. No, we're pals. And it was the following week, the following Friday, we went out on a proper date. But this is my naivety, and those that have listened to the members only know the reasons for my naivety and my social awkwardness. But on our second date, on the Friday night, we went to Top La Bamba, and I was like, in fact, it was when we went to Studio after our meal. So at the meal, you're having like alcohol, and I don't really drink now, but I did drink back then. And I would say stupid stuff when I had a drink in me. So we'd had the meal, we'd had some drinks with the meal, and then we went to Studio and we're having cocktails in Studio. And I said, I've got 2 tickets for everything in Manchester at the end of the month if you want to come down with me. I've got a hotel booked and all that. Now I know that you shouldn't really say that on your first proper date with a woman that you've met on online, because they're going to think you're a fucking weirdo, and you're probably a mad rapist bastard.
Down in one knee, you know what I mean? Would you marry me? Would you do me the pleasure of becoming my wife?
But
I've only just met you.
Exactly, but we both had to kind of read to each other, like we really liked each other and we felt this could go somewhere. So looking back, obviously that's a fucking horrific thing to say. And when she told her pals, they're all like, "You're fucking no going with him. You're fucking no going with him." But she did come with me because it was like 2 or 3 weeks after that date. You know, we're due to go, so we went away and we had a fucking brilliant time. It was a great wee trip. So
and it's just I would.
You don't want to enter that world, Neil. You don't want to go into it. It's horrendous.
Totally lost in that world. I would never
turn gay instead and just go into prison or something.
I wouldn't be into. I wouldn't be into joining any of that stuff. That's a mental thing you need to go through. I couldn't sit there and talk to somebody like sitting across having dinner with some. Yeah, so what is it?
Could you imagine doing it now? Have you had?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Imagine me having to sit across. So what is it you do then? And she tells me, I work for the bank and all that is good. What is it you actually do? And I'm like, don't know, man. I kind of make stuff and I do a podcast. It's like
a podcast is that? Look, I just sit in
I just try and get by. I try and fucking just get by. She'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
You're 2 steps away from signing on to the brew, mate.
That's it. She'd be like, what the fuck? But I couldn't be. So I don't know how are people meant to meet. How's people meant to meet now? How are older people meant to meet? It's so weird, man.
Well, that takes me back to what I spoke about on, I think it was the second members only podcast about Meetup. Meetup.com. And that's where a lot of older folk will meet. They'll go to these wee clubs. It's like, I'm interested in learning Spanish, or I'm into cinema, and they'll go to these weird clubs with these weird people. And if you want to listen to that episode where I spoke about my encounter with an old cougar at one of the meetup.com meetings, then it's patreon.com/SMRE. It's members only, episode 2. Right, any reactions to anything we need to deal with in the chat, Cam?
Let's see here.
Have you not been fucking monitoring them?
Well,
He's been away 2 weeks.
What did you do, Cam? What did you do when you were off, Cam? You just
watching YouTube, playing games, getting really fed up because you're just sitting, man.
You're just sitting,
So Rob Simpson says Mark's not about that big and proud life.
What does that mean?
Fatty.
Big and proud. All right. No, I mean, listen, particularly back then, I was looking after myself. I was thin and fit, and if I can do it, you don't need. No.
I ain't dating no fat bitch.
Exactly.
The original News fan page, Mark likes big sluts and he cannot lie.
Some brother brothers can't deny.
Rob Simpson says, I'd be one of those skinny fellas who ends up with a big lass. I don't think so.
Thank you, Cam. Thank you for saying that.
Certainly,
I hate seeing that.
It's certainly something that is an absolute turn off straight away.
Oh, aye.
Fuck that.
I like a bit of thickness. I'll tell you that. I don't mind myself.
Is there a difference between a bit of thickness and obesity?
Aye. No, I'm telling you, I verge on the obesity side though.
Fair enough.
But it's not. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows? It's just who I like to look at on Instagram as I'm scrolling through. You know. But I don't know.
See if they've got an OnlyFans.
Aye, and then once I see that, I go to Reddit and see if I can see the leaked videos on Reddit. But some of the ones you see, there was one that I seen, and I was like, wow, I thought she was just like a normal kind of bikini model or that, and then you managed to find her leaked OnlyFans, and she's like, I'm like,
shoving phones up her ass.
Aye, that's a power tool, man. You know what I mean? I'm like,
do you think anybody's leaked any of our Patreon videos? Do you think they're on a Reddit somewhere? That would be the ultimate compliment. Do you know what I mean? There's a whole Reddit for leaked SMRE videos. What else, Cam?
Lewis Matt comes in saying Neil loves a good thick.
There he is. There's Lewis. Because I send him to Lewis. I'm like, hey, Lewis, and then he's like, no, he says, I'm not as big as you, man. Like, she would actually hurt me if she lay on me.
Lewis, man, I need to know what rope I have to get for these acoustic panels. I'm stressed, man. I need to know.
I don't like
we
the
don't
use of the
get
word
stressed, man. We don't get stressed out here. We just chill.
It's funny hearing the word stress and rope used in the same sentence. Just try to
that's
see.
That's what I was thinking about the stress thing. I really don't. I'm trying a massive chill. I don't want any stress. I know how people have been watching videos. People need stress to do this and that. Fuck off. See if you're listening to these YouTube gurus and they say you need to have stress because that's good for you to get through stuff. When does that stress end? Do you just need to keep having stress till? Because then they're like, no, but when you get to where you're going, but you're never going to get to where you're going. You're always
I understand the concept because if you're liking it to building endurance in your musculature, stress is absolutely vital. But it has to be managed stress in short bursts for your musculature to work. So understand being able to cope with life, maybe putting yourselves in situations that are a wee bit stressful, right? Now and again doesn't do you any harm. But if your whole life is when you get up in the morning to when you try to get to sleep at night is full of stress, that will kill you.
But also, I don't even think a wee bit of stress. I quite like the idea of waking up in the morning, right? And just being blissed out for the day and enjoying what I'm doing for the full day, having a great time, enjoying
it's not a balanced day.
And then when I go to bed at night, and then that's me, and I wake up the next day, and then it's the same the next day. That's what
it's not a balanced day.
What do you mean?
Has to be that it's not balanced. There has to be a wee bit of
Tell me the benefit. Tell me the benefit.
Because balance, right? It's everything in moderation is absolutely fine. Everything, apart from racism.
Right.
But a wee bit of stress in moderation means you enjoy the easy bliss times even more. If everything's just bliss, you'd as well be on antidepressants.
Right. Okay. Well, what about what if your stress was walking the dogs in really bad weather? Is that stressful enough? That's enough.
That stresses me out because then when you get them back, you've got to get them cleaned off before they jump up on the couch and fuck your couch up. That's a wee bit stressful. Aye, listen, we're not talking about stress where, oh fuck, my Bitcoin has tanked and I've just lost 23 million. What the fuck am I going to do?
Watson. Shout
out Andy Watson, big time.
Right,
I'm not talking about that kind of stress.
So it's just wee bits of stress.
A wee bit of mental, your things are pulled tight, and then you enjoy it when it eases off.
You can enjoy that stress though as well.
Absolutely. And you should be able to look back on it.
You can embrace the stress and get into it, and all right, that's fine, and I understand that. It's just I'll watch. I see these videos on YouTube, and I can't understand that people watch them, and in the comments, everybody's like, "Yeah, I do that," and I'm like, "Am I just on the fucking wrong wavelength here of this?" What these people are into. The people are into crazy stuff, getting up at 4 a.m. and doing this and doing that. I don't know if there's a benefit to that. The what?
That sounds familiar. I was up at 4 this morning.
I know, but did you have to? I mean, these
no,
people
I didn't
are
have to
get
get up
at 4 a.m. for no reason.
Set an alarm. Aye. No, I think I'll give you an example. See the times where I've been under a time pressure to finish a project, and you'll know what I'm talking about because you'll have had it as well. A guy's coming to pick something up for you at 5 o'clock, and it's 4:20, and you know what I mean? That
4:20, blaze it up, yeah.
Exactly. So it's finished the project or blaze up, right? So the stress involved with that, and there is a wee bit of stress, and folk, and you might go, no, I don't feel stressed. There will be a wee bit of stress underneath. You'll be like, shit. Type, right, that's brilliant. That's the kind of stress because what it does is your neurons start fucking firing better, right? You get a wee bit of adrenaline released. Your mind will become sharper. I love working under. I couldn't do it all the time, but I love working under wee bits of stress like that, where it's like, oh shit, this needs to get done. It needs to get finished now. Or you're working on a project and it's not going quite right. You know, you've maybe lost some files or your hard drives are overflowing. I'm talking about from my point of view how I work. I don't mind that wee bit of stress because it typically allows me to focus a bit better. Stress is a natural evolutionary response to external stimuli. And this is the worst type of stress, is the stress that we bring about inside our own minds by going, oh, but what about this? What about that? What about the next thing? That's bullshit. But there's nothing wrong with external pressures causing a wee bit of stress on us.
I don't like the time things you need to get done in time and that. I like stuff just to go, it'll be done when it's done, and you end up taking ages to do it, you know?
Right,
one time me and Lewis were doing a thing, and I don't think we struggled to get it ready in time, and so Friday night, I says, tell you what, I was at his on Friday night, I'll go down Saturday morning, and we'll finish the bits we need to finish and then take it to the guy's house. And it was like really tight for time, you know, we were really never going to do it. We probably would have done it, but whatever. And the guy texts me on the way down the road, we can't do it the day. We'll need to postpone it to another time. And I was like, there you go, that's fucking brilliant. So me and Lewis just chilled out and took it easy for the day and finished it. It was quite nice.
So an example of a job that you and Lewis might be commissioned to do, I don't know, I'll try to think of one. It could be making acoustic panels for the SMRE studio, just as an example. Don't fucking have that fucking mindset in that project, boy. I'll tell you that now, Lewis, and yourself. Get them fucking done and completed, right? Because we need them for next Wednesday.
That's like a nice wee quick thing we just do. It's no you know what I mean? We get that done and get it done in
half of the fucking stuff's in my hallway.
That's it, man. I'll get it picked up and we'll take it down. I was talking to Lucy today about it.
I was going to say to you to bring your Robertson Square Drive bit down tonight because I need it to disassemble the big desk because it's all pocket hole screws.
Right. Okay,
so I'm going to send Cam down to my old work to ask if he can borrow one tomorrow morning.
Will they be all right if you go and talk to them?
I'm not going down. They can go fuck themselves, but Cam will go down. They like Cam.
Aye. It's just one of these situations, eh?
So should we do a wee studio update? What do you think?
I go for it. Tell them what's what. There's Lewis. What's stress? And he's got the wee weed emoji. Yes. Shout out Lewis. Shout out to Lewis.
I'll tell Lewis what stress is, right? Lewis, this is stress, mate. Stress is fucking phoning rope retailers and saying, do you do braided, bonded, fucking whatever it is? And they're like, what?
Do you do bondage rope?
Bondage rope? We've got bondage rope. You need handcuffs to go with it. I am phoning up fucking rope retailers and saying, I'm looking for such. No, we don't do that.
Have told you. If the guys say it can take a load, then you're totally fine.
Right, so just order it then. It's 100 meters.
It's 8 mil. 100 meters, like he needs 80. 100 meters,
8 mil.
Lewis says here hemp rope.
Hemp rope.
I don't know if he's kidding after seeing that.
I'm not getting hemp rope. Every time Neil would be, he'd be sparking up the end of it and getting a wee waft. So the studio update, right? So obviously this is episode 19. I'm in my flat. You're in your place, right? we're hoping next Wednesday for episode 20 we'll be in the studio. But I did make a wee announcement on Instagram, and I think I put it in the group chat that there won't be a live show at 7 p.m. next Wednesday. It's highly unlikely because we won't have internet in the studio, and there's a whole fucking story behind that. And
when
we're
you
not
get
going
the
to
keys? When is the date?
Monday. But I'll hopefully get access on Sunday because I've got some big shit I need to drop off, and my mate's only get his van available on Sunday, so I'm hoping to have the keys. So there won't be a live show next Wednesday, but there will be a show. It'll be uploaded when I get home on Wednesday night. I'll upload it to YouTube. There'll be a members only show. I'll upload it to Patreon, and the audio podcast will go out as normal next week. But we just won't be live, unfortunately. What we might do though is get Cam to do some wee live clips for on the Instagram, so instagram.com/SMRE podcast. We might do wee live snippets. We're hoping to have a live studio guest because that's one of the things we'll be doing in the studio is we'll have guests from time to time. So we should have a guest in next week, which should be quite good fun. But
if you got any other guests?
There's a few folk I can think of. The guy for the beard oil company. He sounds like a right good guy. He's got a full-time job, but he's running a wee business selling beard products. I use his beard products, are good. I think he'll be good value for money, and he'll probably give us some free beard product as well, Neil. So it's a bonus. But Mary and I were in town on Saturday, and we're walking back. We went up to the studio. I said to her, come on, we'll go and see it. So we couldn't get in, but we went into the building. It's a beautiful building with a wee wander down the corridor, and I'm peeking in the other sort of offices and that are in there. And we had a wee look through the letterbox of the studio, and she's going, oh, that looks really good. So we walked into town. I had to pick up some stuff in the town. She ended up in fucking Primark for about an hour, and I'm standing outside with the dog. Right, fucking nightmare.
Down at that bit on Argyle Street.
Aye. But I stood round the corner. No, the bit on Argyle Street was rough as fuck there, man.
Yeah,
I stood
but see, the thing is, see when you go up, you go up the street. It's a beautiful street. See the buildings on that street. The Spanish Butcher, the restaurant's there.
Is that where that is? Right.
Yeah, but then that's next to that Paisano Pizza. But if you come back towards Argyle Street, if you come back, is that where Fat Buddha is?
Aye.
Well, if you come back towards Argyle Street, there's some beautiful buildings there, man. Really
it's
nice.
a cracking bit. So that's where I stood. I didn't stand in the Argyle Street bit waiting for her. And then we walked back to Glasgow Green, but we passed the Shelter charity shop. And as we're walking by, Mary went, oh, look at that. And it was in the window. There was displayed this big, massive coffee table. And I was like, oh, that's quite interesting. She said, that would look good in the studio. I said to her, look, going to go in and, because I had the dog on the lead, I said, going to just go in and have a quick look at it and take some photographs. So she went in and took some photographs. And while she was doing that, I'm looking in the other windows, and there was this big ass black leather sofa, a kind of Italian design, but a modern design. Not mid-century, unfortunately, but a kind of quite a modern design. And I was like, So I said to her, like, take the dog. I'm going to go in and see if they'll do a deal on the coffee table and the sofa. So I found a lassie. I says, right, what's the best price for the sofa? I says, does it come with the armchair? Because there was an armchair that matched it. She says, yeah, it comes with the armchair and the footstool. I says, I don't want the footstool because it was red and it looked horrible. She says, right, you don't want the footstool? Okay. She goes, So she came up with some deal. I think it was about 80 quid off. So I got the big leather sofa, the leather armchair, which is, you could almost fit 2 people in it, and this big ass coffee table, which is made out of a barn door, she told me, for 365 quid, including delivery to the studio.
No bad.
And then I sent you pictures of it all, and I says, I got all this stuff, and I got the 2 blue ticks on WhatsApp, and he never fucking replied.
Oh, so did I not reply saying nice? No, because I seen it and I knew I was working at the time. I was working at the time when you sent me it, and then
so
I
came in. I said
table.
to Cam, I sent Cam the pictures, and I said Neil's going to fucking hate that table.
No, I seen the table when you when you sent it. I saw the table, and I was like, I was thinking of what I was going to say. I was going to type back like, you paid how much? You know, so but I just left it because I was working, and then you messaged me back after it saying you hate that, and I was like, that's because I've no messaged you.
So I sent my message about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours later, going, you fucking hate that table, don't you? And he's like, no. And I says once I replied to him, and I says, once the legs are painted black and it's been given a wee sand and an oil, it'll look amazing. And Neil's reply was, Aye, that word amazing gets thrown about an awful lot these days.
Aye. No, it'll be totally
I can just
fine,
imagine
man.
we'll come into the studio next Wednesday to record the show and you'll be like, aye, don't know about this, don't know about it.
Rustic's no my thing, man. Rustic
isn't
no my
my thing either, but what I liked about it is it's a fucking conversation piece for the boring cunts that will come in. And they'll go, oh, look at that. That's an unusual table. Because it's fucking massive. And it's clear. You look at the edge of it and I go, yo, that's a barn door that's been cut down and put on legs. Aye. I mean, obviously, I'd rather have a walnut live edge coffee table. But Neil's not made one yet, so...
Oh, no, it's hard to get walnut here at any sort of price if you want a live edge slab of walnut, man. I don't even know where I would find one of them in the UK, but...
Oak?
I don't know. Oh, you get an oak. What, even oak's expensive as fuck as well, man, you know? I seen a guy, I was looking the other day for a slab for a job, and there's a guy selling like a slab. It was a slab, man, an oak slab, and it was like $3.5 grand for it. I was like, what? Just for the slab, and then you need to go and do the stuff. That's not going to work, man.
And then some cunt would ruin it by doing a resin inlay on it.
Yeah, aye, putting a resin thing in it. But they're popular, man. You know, they're fucking popular as well. But it's not that nice, is it? There's a lot of stuff that's no nice that's popular, though, you know?
Like barn door coffee tables.
Aye.
Because the plan was we were going to get Eames, like replica Eames chairs. And I'd seen a nice sofa. It was quite a kind of modern, but I sent you the link to the sofa, didn't I? It was a kind of blue sofa.
I seen it. Aye.
It looked nice, but to get them would have cost a fair bit of dough. So I thought, right, get these things. They're not exactly what we would want long term, but they'll work for the time being. And that means the important thing is I've got somewhere to have a nap every day about 2:00 in the studio. So
get a wee blanket under it and just...
Blanket and cushions. Yeah.
What time will you open up? What time will you open in the day?
What do you mean?
What time will you open the place?
I'll be in early. But we've got I've set the website up and it's got a booking application so folk can book their times. So the booking times run from 9 till 5 every day, apart from Tuesdays and Thursdays when it's 9 till 8 at night. And then Wednesdays it's 9 till 4 because obviously SMRE takes priority in a Wednesday.
Aye. So people will just be able to come in and book it for an hour, book it for 2 hours, and just sit down and then everything will be there. Right.
Aye. So I mean, they can book a consultation, which they would pay for, half an hour consultation, which we could do in the studio or over Zoom, and just talk through what it is that they're looking for. Aye, and there's a potential client lined up. I had a meeting, a Zoom meeting with them last week, and it's a 10-part podcast series they're wanting produced.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So I priced that up. So I was like, so obviously we've got all the COVID stuff, right? And I'm not really wanting to get to COVID tonight, man, because it's negative fucking bullshit. And Leo Barrow, who, oh, by the way, shout out to Leo, to Lewis Barry.
Shout out to Leo.
Shout out to Leo, Lewis, whatever designation you'd rather go by. He's our latest producer over at patreon.com/SMRE. Thank you for signing up, it's really appreciated. He'd actually sent a message in on Instagram for questions, queries and conundrums. We'll probably not dive into it on the public show, we'll leave that for the members only, just the subject matter. We're trying to keep things I'm personally, for my head, trying to keep things quite light and funny tonight.
Light-hearted entertainment, it's some of my favourite entertainment.
Exactly, Morecambe and Wise, all that kind of stuff. What was I saying? Aye, so because of all the COVID stuff, right, I was like, fuck, man, I'm going to have a business and a building and a studio that's open to the public. Like, I'll probably need to tick some boxes, COVID-wise. So I was like, right, man. So I've been doing a bit of research. What other podcast studios are there? And there's one in Edinburgh. And on their site, they've got a COVID update on their website. And it's how they've changed their studio. It's got fucking Perspex partitions. They've got fucking mask things that fit onto the microphones that are changed every time they're used.
Oh, that'll look good on camera.
Aye, exactly. A fucking nappy. It looks like a fucking nappy on the microphone. And they've got a COVID... they've done a COVID risk assessment that's available for you to download for their website. They've got a questionnaire that you've got to fill out before you can use their studio. So I was like, how far do I go with this? So I just went and registered the business and the premises for the track and trace. So I've got the nice QR code that'll be printed. It's got the business name and address on it. So I've sent that to my dad. He's going to print it and laminate it. That'll be stuck on the inside of the door. And I've got a COVID questionnaire form, and I've asked my dad to print me 10 of them. And we're going to have hand sanitizer. And we're going to have the wee nappies for the microphones. But if you're a normal cunt and you come and see us, don't worry about any of that shit. If you are a bedwetter and you come and you want to scan, see the way I pictured it, Neil, is there'd be somebody coming in, right? They'd knock the door, and you open the door and you go, "All right, mate, is that you? You're here to do your podcast?" "Yeah, that's right." And they've got the mask on. "Yeah, that's right." You know, they would come in, they would be like, "Oh, have you got a QR code?"
Saving
I'm telling
lives.
you. And then
Saving
if you
lives.
didn't have it, they would be like, "Oh, right. Okay, then. I think I'll just leave it." And they'd be straight on the phone to the council, and you'd get a visit, and you'd be shut down. So I thought we'll have it.
You're as well
tick
going
boxes.
go by the rules, but it's you're as well going by the rules, I suppose, man, and keeping it all above board. But you could, but I might know. It seems like England's like the best place to be right now with that whole thing.
I've read so many comments with people who have been down, and they're like, "It's as if it's
I've
never
spoke to
happened."
a few guys in England, and they say it's fucking brilliant. They say it just seems as if we're back to kind of normal, but kind of normal, you know.
As close to it as possible.
I think you'll be fine. Who knows, man? Who knows, man? Maybe people just feel safe that way, you know. I don't know.
Aye. Good luck to them. Good luck to them.
Best of luck to them.
Good luck. Hey Cam, you've got a few highlighted comments there. Do you want to run through them?
Yep. Rob Simpson's saying that you just have to ask the dominatrix in Neil's village where she gets the rope from.
It's a good shout. Could you chap her door?
I'll go and chap the swinging Shalley's door and see what sort of rope brand they use.
Because she's quite big, isn't she? And if she's getting strung up on a pulley for the ceiling.
Seen some of the setups.
Oh, aye.
You see, and like they tie the tits up and that, and they're all tied up. Fucking these wee conics going. It's fucking mental, man. It's fucking like who does that and thinks this is great? Oh, this is fucking brilliant. It's just.
And then
so
they're
silly.
hog tied with their wrists and their ankles tied together. Like, what the fuck, man?
It's just a bit over the top. It's like these people.
If you're into all that dominatrix shit and you're in the live chat or you're listening to this, get in touch with us and let us know what the appeal is, because we don't fucking get it.
It must
and
be.
You think you're weird.
It must be pure fucking awkward untying her after all.
That's it, man. After you've shot your load, and then you need to fucking.
I'm really sorry. I think I took it a bit too far. It's really difficult. I can't get the knots off. I'm so sorry.
How did I do this one again? It was a double under over. Oh, fuck. Listen, sweetheart, if you get a sharp knife in your drawer.
Original Neil's fan page saying, in regards to you standing outside waiting at Primark, said you stood there so long. That nearly got taken away like Neil's sofa.
Well, what was interesting about it was I was standing with the dog, right? Our dog is really, really fucking cute. Not as cute as your dog's, Neil, obviously, but he's really, really cute, and he had his wee jacket on, and he was just lying down in the pavement, bored out his mind. So people were going by and going, "Oh, look at the wee dog, oh, he's lovely." So a few folk come over and they were having a wee chat with the dog, and they'd speak to me. What was interesting was two lassies actually came by, but they both had masks on, walking down the street, both had masks on. So they kind of passed me by and they're looking at the dog and they're going, "Oh," and they went into Primark, and then they came back out and came over to speak to the dog. And the dog was kind of jumping up one of the lassies, right, because she was making more of a fuss of him, and she had her mask on. And she says to the dog, "Oh, I know you're trying to give me a kiss, but I don't want to pass anything on to you."
Well, you know what I mean? Dogs' lives matter. Dogs' lives matter.
Unbelievable.
What age were they?
Young, early 20s.
See, I got to fucking deal with, man.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's it. Just as long
Mental.
as
Do you know what I saw?
Dogs are good, man. Dogs are good.
Do you know what I saw over at the fort? On we went to see Dune.
Oh, is it good?
Dune. Very good. So we went with my dad and Cam and I, my youngest. And I said to the boys, right, run down to Poundland and get the cheap sweeties. We're not fucking spending £5 in a bag of Revels, right? Get down to Poundland. So they ran away down. My dad and I just my dad's old, so we walked slowly behind them. So we're outside, right? The fort is outdoors, and
I know what the fort is. I know what
No,
the
but
fort is.
well, obviously, I know you do, but there's people that are watching and listening.
Sorry,
Yeah, you do know this is a show, don't you?
I know.
It's not just us chatting.
Sorry. I keep forgetting. I think we're just talking together.
So there's loads of folk wear masks, right? And this young woman walked in front of us, and as she was walking in front of us, she sneezed into her mask. She had a mask on and she sneezed. Right, so I'm right away. I'm like, that's fucking rank. That she's still got that on her face and she's fucking sneezed into it. But what caused her to sneeze? She's wearing a mask. Masks don't let anything through. How could anything that could possibly irritate her nose have got through the mask? But imagine that, and then she walks in. Imagine walking in a shop, man, and you've fucking sneezed a belter right into a bit of paper that's stuck across the front of your face.
You can't take it down then, though, because it's all crusted over.
Well,
what do you do?
Like
do you get another mask to put on?
But it's like when you sneeze, I've done that before, and I've ended up having a bogey that's been caught in my moustache. And then I've been walking about as normal doing work, and then I go eat something or like that, and then I go and I'm like, oh, it's it's a bogey. Oh no, I fuck, and then you're like, oh, the tongue coming out. I'm touching a bogey. I've just tasted a bogey. Oh fuck. You get that, and it's no fucking nice, man. So it can't be nice inside that mask.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely.
I mean, bogies are a thing, man. Bogies, snotters, and all.
See, when you think about it,
that we need to deal with.
Humans expel about 20 litres of air every minute.
Right.
So you're cutting about with a bit of paper or a bit of shitey cloth that you bought at the market, $3 for £1, over the front of your face, and you're breathing out. You went, and then all the shit that's in your lungs, all the other stuff, all the bacteria, you're breathing 20 litres of that out a minute, and it's getting filtered through a bit of paper or a bit of cloth, and then you take that off and you fold it up with your hands and you put it in your pocket or your bag, or you hang it for the. That's fucking rank, man. That's like sitting with your pants on, farting in them, just farting in them all the time, and then taking your pants off and folding them up and putting them in your pocket. And then taking them out later on and putting them back on.
I know a guy who carries a pair of pants about him just in case he shits
Spare
himself.
ones.
I just throw the masks away. I just throw them in the street. I just take the mask off and just throw it one use.
Just let the environmentalists deal with it.
I just throw them in the street. Fuck it. I'm not hanging about with that shit. That's
no. Fucking it's a biohazard.
I like to throw it. See, when I'm in Glasgow, I throw it right in the river in the Clyde, right over the end, so it's in there.
Where the swans are. Where the swans swim.
I like to go into charity shops and donate the ones that I've used. You know, just then they start handing them out to folk and
to homeless people. Second-hand masks. See if you do that. See if you cut about with a mask on all the time, and then you take it off and you're fingering it and holding it and touching it, and you put it in your pocket and you put it back on later on. You're fucking rank. Have a look at yourself. Have a fucking look at yourself. Yeah.
I think one time sometimes I would wear a buff thing if I was out running in the winter.
Aye.
Because it was so fucking cold. I'd put it up and I would do that.
Aye.
And I would run with that. And
you weren't doing that because the deadliest pathogen ever known to man was in the air round about you.
No, I was doing it so I could breathe all my air into it, and it would heat up my face because it was fucking freezing. Aye.
But remember, these folk are wearing these because either they are expelling the deadliest pathogen known to man, or it's in the air round about them and it's been sucked into the fabric of the surface of the mask. So that's different. You were doing that back when that was just a thing to keep your face warm. Now it's to fucking save lives.
I've used other people's masks. There was one time I was at Lewis's and I was the guy, oh shit, I need to go in here and they'll really not let me in without a mask. Have you got a mask I can borrow? He's the guy, all right, there you go. But he'd used it makes no sense. But it was just
I've done that as well. Like if you're in a your mate just like poking about in the glove compartment in his car or something like that. Or in the back seats.
Poking about in the back seats?
Yep.
After a Tinder date.
And then they produce a mask and it's...
It's either a mask or a mobile phone that's been up there. Do you know what I mean?
You don't know where it's been. I just take it anyway, put it on. Fuck it, put it on. Just to be safe. I think it'll go away. It's ending now anyway. I think we'll be fine, man. I think we'll be all right.
It's all finishing in Scotland. They're wrapping it up. They're wrapping it up.
I think they will be. I mean, we'll hear the end of this week. I think we have to hear the end of this week.
Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday, so next week.
I said to Mary, phone up where we're booked for Christmas dinner and make sure we can fucking cancel.
Oh, do you just go out for Christmas dinner?
Mm-hmm. We haven't done it for the past couple of years. We haven't done it for the past
have you done that for the past few years?
No, we've not done it for the past couple of years.
Right,
didn't do it in 2019. We went to Mary's brothers. We didn't do it in 2018. We went to Mary's other brother. We didn't do it last year because the Christmas was banned last year, remember?
Aye.
So the years before that we've done it.
So do you like going out for Christmas dinner?
Aye.
I was just talking about that the other day because I was at gym. I says, "Who the fuck goes out for their Christmas dinner?" And she says, "Oh, it's a big thing, man. Fucking loads of people do it."
Do you know? I'll tell you why it's good. Right, a couple of reasons it's good. The first year in particular was the first year I'd done it. 2016 it was, and excuse me, you arrive at the place. It's a carvery usually we go to. So you arrive. They've got your table set and ready with your crackers on it. They know what your order is already, so it's not like they've got to come over and you're looking at menus. You've already pre-ordered, so they take you down, immediately take your drinks order. They fuck off and they bring you back your drinks order. Believe it or not, all of the staff are in an amazing mood. I don't know why they're working on Christmas Day, but they're all in an amazing mood, probably because they know they're going to get really good tips. So you sit down, you've got your crackers and all that kind of stuff. They bring your drinks back straight away. And then a couple of minutes later, they bring your starter. And then when they clear your starter, you go up and you fucking get as much food as you want. And then you get your dessert. And they're regularly checking in for drinks and stuff like that. And then you leave. And you go home. And there's no dishes. No clearing up to do. All you need to do when you go home is take your shoes and your jacket off, flop onto the couch, and open a box of roses. That's all you need to do.
I get it, brilliant. But it's just other people. It's other people. Eating next to other people freaks me out, man.
Oh,
see that?
You get that
sitting
on,
next to other people eating and that, and you see these other people eating, people you don't know, chop up a bit of fucking turkey and put it in their mouth. You're like, oh, fuck off. You can't even. I was on a train once and there was this old guy across from me and he picked up a sandwich hanging out and he's like, and I'm, oh, fuck off. I wanted to fucking punch his face and just fucking run off the train.
You've had a meal here twice.
Aye. Oh, no, that's totally fine.
Did you notice anything about how I eat?
No, not at all. No, but that's totally fine, like doing that. How have you got a
Mary's fucking on my case. She's going, what's this new thing with you, the way you eat? What's going on with the way you eat? You're like, she says, you can let the food cool for a minute or blow on it before you eat it. And I'm like, no, but I'm hungry. So
I never noticed
so
that.
I don't know whether I was eating the pizza. I'm like, but apparently it's a thing I've developed recently.
Man. You know, I live here with 3 other boys, man. You know, and fucking 2 male.
You don't
dogs.
mind when
you don't mind them.
It's just strangers doing it.
It's people you don't know. You know, if it's somebody that you've went into a place and you're sitting down as this family, like one guy looks like a small bit director of a small business, you know, he maybe takes home 50 grand a year, he's got 4 employees, you know, he wears a shirt, drives a Range Rover. Cunts like that. Get to fuck, I'm not eating next to this prick. It's just they're weird, they look weird, they fucking I can't be doing it. I just don't like other people there when I'm eating. I like to relax and talk, and you can't fucking talk because these people are listening to you, you know?
I don't like that, man. I don't like it when you go to a wee, I like going to wee restaurant. I'm not like going to big, chain restaurants or like a TGI. I've never been a TGI Friday. I don't like that sort of thing. Or bread meets bread or whatever it's called. I like going to a wee boutique restaurant. Like, see that one you were talking about, the Spanish Butcher? Sort of somewhere like that, where it's a wee cool place, family run or whatever. But because they're small, the tables tend to be quite close together. So you go with the missus, it's just the 2 of yous. And what we like to do is talk about all the other cunts in a place.
Aye. And everyone else is doing that at the same time as well.
But you're too close to the folk next to you, so they're going to overhear the fact that you're going, check the fucking state about Orbit. He's a fucking company director with 4 employees. He's wearing a shirt and he drives a Range Rover.
Aye. No, but it's like you go into that Wagamama.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go. And I'm sitting right next to you, cunt.
It's a bench.
Right. Aye. They're right next to me as if they're like related to me. Sitting next to me as if I owe them money.
Why do you like it, Cam?
Because I've been brought up to tolerate communism in the school system. So basically, everyone sits at the same. Nah, I don't know. I just kind of like it, man. There's a place in there's like a noodle bar in Glasgow. Been in there. I don't know. I like it.
Freaks me the fuck out that people I don't know sitting next to me, just looking at them eating and that. Oh, fuck off. I can't do it. It's no for me.
So here's
just before you change the subject, the only thing about going out for Christmas And as someone that's privileged enough to never have to have cooked a Christmas meal, it's always nice when you have it at home. You've got the leftovers.
That's the only downside.
That's the only thing.
Literally, the only downside is there's no leftovers. But I think you could be cute about it and
probably
super fucking load your plate up, where you couldn't possibly finish it, and just say to them, "Can I get a doggy bag?" And then you've got leftovers for 9 o'clock that night when you've tanked a box of roses, and you're like, "I need something savoury. Is there any of that ham and turkey left?" We brought some back. And that's the only downside. Now, we went to Mary's. Since I've been with Mary, we've only actually Christmas dinner once at hers, and it was last year, and it was really, really good. It was really good. Obviously, the first Christmas her and I together, I spent Christmas in hospital, so that was fucking brilliant. But last year, it was just us. And I remember she'd bought a table off a Gumtree or something like that would extend out to accommodate all of us, and she set it up in the living room. So we were in the living room, and there was a police car driving slowly up the street, and somebody, I can't remember who it was, somebody said, "Oh, there's the police." And I was right over at the window, and I'm thinking, "Fucking come to the door, you cunts! Fucking come to the door, you cunts!" Because you know that way you weren't meant to mix and all that at Christmas. Go fuck yourselves! Fuck yourselves! I was ready for getting arrested.
Fucking hell! That's it, man.
So here, I need to ask Neil this question, right? So Neil, I proposed to you through the week, and I don't know if you were having one of the days. I don't know. Maybe Gemma had made you go to a restaurant and you were just recovering for having to watch other folk eat. I don't know what it was. But I'd said to you in the studio, what's your thoughts on inviting one or two folk that we know to come and sit in where we're recording? They could sit in the sofa, we're doing the live. And how did you respond to that? Would you want to share it with the audience?
I said to you, that's a hard pass from me. I says it's weird as fuck, but whatever, I don't really care. So I left it with you.
I think that's a fair assessment. Personally, from my point of view, I can agree with that.
I think there's one or two people I know that listen, and I think they would be an alright, wee, small, informal live studio audience. They would have a chuckle in the background. It might add to because I noticed the dynamic has been different the last 2 weeks because Cam wasn't on. Because Cam's that extra kind of like real time feedback. Because I'll hear him laugh or he wants to. I can tell he wants to kind of get in the conversation. I don't know. We might try it once. I mean, as a Christmas special.
The way I think about it is, if you're there doing a thing and there's other guys there. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? What the fucking... And I don't want to feel like Shane Ritchie on a fucking game show on the BBC.
No, I'm talking about people that know the show, that know us.
Yeah.
So let's say Lewis. Let's say Lewis. As in,
I know that.
Your pal Lewis or the guy Lewis that's a Patreon subscriber. Do you know what I mean? Folk that we know.
Oh, no, I get what you're saying. I mean, it's probably fine. It's just...
Did you feel a bit nervous?
No nervous, just fucking creeped out. Like, what the fuck is this? Is weird, But
we've got a few. The original Neil's fan page says Howland sat in the corner throwing peanuts at you, giving you abuse.
Love it.
It's probably
fucking love that.
And then Martin Drakers comes in saying, "I'll come sit in if I can have a beer and a smoke. I'm only across the river."
Yes, blaze it up. Shout out to Martin.
What do you mean you're only across the river? I thought he was up north. Who's up Aviemore?
Well, as Jimmy Neal says, it was a big river.
The sea? I'm just across the sea.
I was sure he was up north. I smoking in the studio. I've thought about this. I've thought about it. What I would love.
I don't you'll be allowed to. I don't you'll be allowed to. If anybody smells it, it's like, they're dealing drugs. That's a crack den in there,
Exactly.
The whole relationship that people have with weed is fucking the weirdest fucking thing. I can't fucking still work it out that it's so fucking weird, man.
See, when you've been here, I've said to you, look, man, spark up. I don't mind it. I genuinely don't mind.
I don't want to be rude in somebody's house,
But in the studio, I think it would be awkward. I mean, what I would love to do is have a cigar now and again when we're doing it. I think that would be all right because it's going to be at night. The floor will be deserted. I think the floor we're on will be deserted.
Yeah.
But weed, because it fucking lingers, man.
Well, the thing is, no overnight. I mean, like, you can smoke in a room and then the next morning there's no smell of weed. Weed doesn't. If you're smoking fags, if you're a fucking pussy and you're smoking spliffs and all that, well, fair enough. The tobacco's going to linger.
Aye, true.
Because
I wondered about that, whether it would linger overnight, or B, whether the security guy is doing a wee wander around the building. Do you know what I mean? At 8 o'clock,
Aye.
And he wanders up the third floor.
Maybe we should get him on the podcast.
Invite him in. Aye. Right, should we wrap up this week's live show? It's 20 to 9, man.
Oh, okay, well,
it's flown in. Flown in.
Before you do that,
yes.
I'll quickly cover.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Gordy Browse says he's up in Inverness.
I knew it was one of these was up north. Cheers, Gordy.
And Martin Draker.
Because you're buying me a pint, aren't you, when I come up for my birthday?
Martin Draker says I have a house up north, but rent in Glasgow.
Fair play, man. Well, so what's your character assessment of Martin Dacres?
What's that?
What's your character assessment of Martin Dacres? So Dermot gave him a thumbs up, didn't he?
Aye, it's cool, man. Come down, man.
Is he cool? And there's another guy, Colin Douglas. He's wanting to
down, man,
swing by. He was going to come in. He was going to come here to flat, but it was the day Manny and I were coming back for
right.
Queensferry, and I wouldn't have been back in time. So there's a couple of folk, and Lewis, the latest producer, my mate's son. I'd love to have him in. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
He's in a band. He's studying sound engineering.
Maybe he could play a bit.
Aye, but he's also studying sound engineering at uni. So it'd be quite interesting, seriously, from like a technical point of view, like anything we could do different. Because obviously I can invented the genre, but you need to have humility and go, anything we could do better here. I mean, I know there won't be. I know it's kind of fucking top notch, but it's good to ask.
Okay. Right. There's Rob Simpson saying he's 6 hours away. Where the fuck is 6 hours for here?
Is he knowing that? Well, it could be anywhere. It could be Milton Keynes.
6 hours you get to Spain's fucking 4 hours in a flight. Does he mean 6 hours in a
probably car, ferry or something like that?
Car. All right, and good.
Has Howland been in the chat tonight, Cam?
Aye, he has, but mind, they've all changed their names.
Aye, well, this is it. So
I can't tell which one's which. I think Scott changed his name. I think Howland did as well.
There's too many of my face still. Way too many. I made them wee avatars, Neil. I made them nice wee avatars.
Getting them away from the.
You know what I mean? And they've all. Did you see the posters I made up? Did you see them, Neil?
No, the wee. I seen them. The wee badges they can get. Aye, they were.
No,
cool,
no. I made up. There's a thing you can do in Photoshop where you can download mock-ups. So I searched for mock-ups of bill posters. So I made a posterized version of my face that they've all got as their avatar. But I made it look like I was a North Korean dictator with like the beams of sun coming up behind me, and I made it all like monochrome and do you know what I mean? It looked like what you would have seen in like a communist country. And then I used Photoshop to put them onto fucking massive bill posters outside train stations. And it was just like join the cult or something like that, or I can't remember, smre.co.uk.
Funny.
Aye.
Rob says he's south of England, and Howland says, I'm howling from Mark's OnlyFans page.
Yes, Mark's OnlyFans.
South of England? What, like? Oh, south of England. I thought he's been in south of England. I was like, what, France? So he's south of England. I get it. South of England, I get it.
Aye, so he's Milton Keynes, I would say. I think Rob's for Milton Keynes.
Here, how is the Queen dead not made it into the show tonight?
Aye, do you know what? The Queen's fucking... The Queen is dead. I think we'll save that for the members only. If you'd like to hear us talk about the members only, if you'd like to hear us talk about the members only...
That's all we talk about, just members only.
If you'd like to hear us talk about our theories and whether the Queen is still alive or not, what's going on in Austria at the moment, and other fun and informative stuff, head over to patreon.com/smre tonight. Do it just now. You won't pay anything until the 1st of December, and you'll get access to the private stream that will follow this one, plus access to all of the previous private streams and private videos. I think there must be 10 or 12 other videos you guys have never seen that are just fucking amazing.
And my face reveal's in one of them as well.
There's a face reveal because Neil had to fuck off because his van broke down, so Cam sat in for Neil. Bet you didn't know that. Right, we'll wrap up.
Okay, thanks very much.
We do appreciate everyone's listener and viewership, and thanks for listening to and watching episode 19 of Social Media Ruins Everything. I'm Mark. I'm a straight white male, identifies he, him. I'm wearing a blue shirt, I'm bald, I have a beard, and I'm wearing headphones and glasses. Thank you.